simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie!
What's up, everyone?
Yo.
We are here for another episode of Abby's Window, and let me take this picture down, even though it's awesome. Take this down so you can see the folks on camera today. So we've got Dom, we've got Hanzo, we've got Jody. As always, you got to have Abby for Abby's Window. So
coming to you from an undisclosed location.
yes, that's right, undisclosed location. But yeah, we're here. We're happy to have all of you here joining us. Welcome. Yeah, let's we got a lot to talk about. A lot of things to discuss. So yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. I know that we have we're gonna start with Caleb's Corner though, as we do. And Jody, take it away.
Yeah. So this episode of Caleb's Corner, we did get a new picture from him. Well, not from him. He posted a new picture of him getting a little bit too much sun on his face. So he's a little pink there. Happy Sunday, obviously. And also posted a new tour graphic for the shows that are coming up this week. So March 31st, he's going to be at the Space at Westbury in Long Island. And then April 1st, he's going to be at Wall Street Theater in Norwalk, Connecticut. So if those are anywhere near you guys, make sure you go check it out. It's a fantastic show. This is the Matt Experience show, which is the Meatloaf's band with Caleb headlining and, stepping into those shoes. And he does a great job with it. So, and I believe that's the last concert date before they head to the UK in May. And that's it.
We've got one other thing to show. I felt like this belonged in this section.
Okay.
But
oh yeah. So Brittany K drew this for me for my birthday. Obviously, that's the picture from the first time that I met him. So I really appreciate her doing that for me. And I'm going to try to print one out. And if I get to actually see him in May and talk to him for a little bit, I can give him his present and have him sign one. So that's my plan.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, that's really cool artwork there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll bring you guys back on screen.
CalebJohnsonOfficial.com. Go get your merch.
There you go. All right. So we've got a little bit of news. People are reporting rumors, and typically I don't give any credence to certain rumors, and you have to take certain things from certain sources with a grain of salt. But I would just like to go around the horn here. We'll start with Dom and then go to Hanzo and then Jody about some of the rumors that we may be getting some QR codes again starting this evening, but perhaps. Again, it's just one of those rumors that's out there. I'm not gonna say names or do anything like that because it is what it is. But Dom, we'll start with you.
Yeah, well, it's good to be here, guys. It's a day or so before I head over to my first ever WrestleMania, so I'm super excited about that. It's good to be here, of course, as well. Hanging out with you guys as always. But I hope so, man. I hope we get something on Raw. I think everybody in this community hopes we get something on Raw. I'm very much looking forward seeing what people in the comments say, how they want to fantasy book, tonight, SmackDown, the lead up to Mania in terms of QR codes or glitches or anything like that. For me, I hope so. I mean, obviously, I have a little bit of personal investment in terms of my fandom. I want, Bray at Mania. I want to lose my proverbial S word to, in the building if Bray shows up. So yeah, there is that for me. But but if we can get some QR codes, awesome. And I think everybody here, I don't want to speak for you all, but I think you're all going to be just as excited as me if something pops up tonight, and maybe something pops up at SmackDown. I was thinking, well, maybe they could have Bobby win the Battle Royal on Friday, because I'm also going to be at that SmackDown, which will be nice. Bobby win the Battle Royal on Friday, and then Bray interfere or set something up for the Mania. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But I'm excited. I'm so excited to be going. But I really hope for everybody here. I hope there is something tonight. And do I think it will happen? I'm gonna say hopeful with a hopeful yes. I'm gonna say yes, hopefully, and with much belief for me and you guys that we get something tonight.
Hanzo, what are your thoughts, my friend?
I mean, I'm optimistic, but I'm keeping it 50-50 just because, you don't know what's going on. But I feel like if they do happen, they have to be more than just, if it's the White Rabbit again, run along the screen and all that sort of stuff. Personally, I know Joe's probably watching or whatever, but I know that he's a horror fan. And I was saying this to Jodie earlier, like, it'd be pretty cool if somehow they could incorporate, I don't know, like Bray loves horror villains. So have if they could create like a Wyndham face that puts over his own face, but underneath he's got a Fiend mask on. So every time he pulls a layer off, you see the teeth. So you'll see the eye, and they'll cut to corners to the next on SmackDown, and he's screaming.
Like his face is melting off.
Yeah, well, he's pulling the other one off, and you'll see the eye and stuff, and then it'll cut to WrestleMania where you have Uncle Howdy. And they do on stage and go, and finally my boy embraces what he is, and all the lights go out, and you'll see maybe he'll be in Bobby Lashley, and Lashley attacks him and beats him down because you're just a man, and he gets up and starts screaming and starts going like that, pulling it all off like the Joker in Death of the Family, and you see the Fiend and he squashes Bobby. But that's my 2K prediction. But anything could happen. But if he's back, I just hope he's happy and healthy. That's it.
Gotcha. Jodie.
Yeah, I would emulate those thoughts. If we get something tonight, that's awesome. If we don't, there's a specific reason why. So I, hope he's doing good too. And I think we'll see something. Obviously,
you think we'll see something tonight or this week? Okay, tonight. Okay. Okay, so I guess
he may not. I don't think he's going to wrestle at WrestleMania, but I think he'll show up in some form.
Gotcha. Okay. So I guess my question to each of you and then to the chat as well is it let's just say we don't get a match. We don't get him in a match, but we get some type of moment. Would that is that sufficient at this point? Is that going to make you happy, or how do you feel about that? And we'll start with Jodie, then go to Hanzo, and then Dom.
I'm happy just getting any piece of Bray. So will the casual wrestling fan be satisfied? They never are. So there's not really much point trying. Bray is one that, cares about the fans.
Yeah.
And what his core fans and what makes them happy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Hanzo.
I would love to see him wrestle, but at the same time, I feel like maybe he's just, I don't know, maybe just slowly getting back into it. Because we saw him at the Rumble. The Rumble, he looked, obviously he had a broken finger and his knee was busted. So take it easy. But I just love maybe just if you're going to bring him back, if you're going to bring him back, and yeah, gunshot. If you're going to bring him back, you do it. Scare factor. You have the lights off, and then you have him face to face with Bobby, and then he disappears to know that he's actually there again. Or if he's clear to wrestle, it's hard. But I'm same as Jodie. As long as he's there in any capacity, whether it's a promo, whether it's a lights flipping on and off, his laugh. If that's just his laugh, that's great. But if he's happy, I'm there. If he's there, I'm happy. If he's not, it's not the end of the world. Just take your time.
Mm-hmm. We're not going anywhere.
No.
I'd be surprised if they didn't have him fix, in some way. Obviously, they've spent a lot of money to bring him back. He's at the top, or very very near the top merchandise, etc. So I would be surprised if we didn't have something Bray related at Mania. Obviously, I joked last week that I'd give up my Mania tickets if Bray, if there was no chance Bray was going to be on the card. And I've calmed down. I've realized how crazy that actually is to say, especially since it's my very first one. So I'm not giving up my tickets, but I think I'm pretty sure this week, especially with all the chat going on, I've seen in the chat, people are talking on Twitter. Obviously, you guys have been talking as well. I think we're seeing something. I think, Bray was a big investment for WWE, for Triple H. I think to have him on Mania in some form makes sense, even if it's just a tease of future feud, but I would like to see, the Bobby Lashley thing at least finish now that it's kind of started. They kind of started it, right? So it needs to finish somehow. So if that's a blow off, if that's a tease on SmackDown, if the lights go out when Bobby wins the Battle Royal or something, and then we get a match the next night, which is what I would hope for, is for him to wrestle. But I would be happy with anything at this point. I would be happy with anything at this point. Just because I'm going anyway, I'm gonna have the best time. But one of the big reasons, as I mentioned last week, for me going was it felt like the stars aligned. It was in LA, so going to get some hot weather. Everybody that knows Yorkshire knows how miserable the weather is here. So A, it was the hot weather. B, it was to see some old friends. C, it was to go to a wrestling show, the biggest wrestling show of the year, and Bray was back. So it felt like all the stars had aligned for me to go to this Mania. So let's fingers crossed, guys. Let's anything I will be happy with.
I think Jody said something important. The people that have been there aren't going anywhere. I don't. And he knows that. But I do agree with all of you. I think we get something. Whether it starts tonight and we get something bigger on Saturday, I do think we get something. What that something is, I'm not sure, but that's why I do a lot of the question asking, and I like to get other people's thoughts on this. So let's go here. Let's fantasy book this, and throw out some theories before we get into some information that Jody wanted to cover today. Let's start with some theories. How do we think this is going to happen, folks in the chat? And let's start with Dom, and then we'll go Hanzo, and then to Jody.
Well, I mean, I've given you my idea that I think would please me the most. I think, people in the chat are talking about, having other figures be there, other representatives, even the puppets. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, for me, it plays out. Bobby's booked for the Battle Royal, wins the Battle Royal. I can't see anybody else winning that. And then Bray interferes. It would also be a nice callback, I suppose, because I think Bray interfered to help Matt Hardy win it years ago. I think that was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. May have been. Yeah. So that would be an interesting callback. But I'm going to use the rest of my time to throw it back to you, Jeff, because I want to hear, A, because I love hearing your voice, B, because I do want to hear your thoughts on this. So can I use the rest of my time to reflect that question back to you? How would you fantasy book it?
How would I fantasy book it? Well, I told Jodie a little bit of this last night. Um, but I think what I would do is, and this is like crazy out there, so I'm not saying that this is going to happen or anything like this. This is just out there. Thank you, Nicole, for the donation. What if at Mania, if Bray and Lashley interact, the puppets show up, and one by one, they take their mask off, revealing Alexa, Rowan, Vincent, and Dutch, along with Uncle Howdy. That would be cool. That would be really cool. So what I would love to see, what I think would be a huge WrestleMania moment, is we're hearing all these rumors that Gangrel is possibly going to be involved with Edge somehow. So, what if in a passing of the torch kind of deal, to bring in the Wyatt Six somehow, they kind of interact with Edge and the Brood and Gangrel. And then you
That got
also
me-
get
That's amazing. That got me more excited than Caleb does, Jeff. Sorry. Like, you don't want to see what's going on down here. No, anyway, carry on. Go ahead.
so
Oh
what if they did that to have Bray interact with Edge, but also with the Demon, in some ways. So it's an out there theory, but if you want to argue that Gangrel can have the power to bring people up from hell, why not bring Vincent and Dutch up from hell?
Yes. Good God, that's beautiful.
people
Right,
need
that's
to
it.
do.
Stream's over. We're done. We got it. That's it. Nailed down. Thanks, guys. See you later. Amazing. Good work, dude. That was awesome.
So
Amazing.
that's my out there thought on how I would like if I were the one with the pencil writing things in the back, that's what I would do, to bring them back. But yeah, we'll go to Hanzo and then Jodie.
So I was telling Jodie this earlier when we were chatting, and I made a video of how the secret that he mentions has a little Scooby-Doo clue. So I made a video where, so this is what I would theorize at Mania, you'll get Bobby that wins the Battle Royale, and he's like, yeah, I guess he's no man, and he talks crap about him, talks shit, and it will cut to an old version of the Funhouse, but it's slightly updated, where Bray will reprise his role in the Funhouse again, where he's saying, "Do you want to see my secret?"
Yep.
And then it will cut to the new stuff where the girl's screaming in the videos and the doors open, and she's like, help me, he is here, or they're here. And so then it will cut with the mask on, and it will say, because if I told you a story, like a long time ago, I told you a secret, and the secret was him. Now, if I tell you the story, can you keep a secret? Can you keep our secret? And the camera will pan away. It'd be all six of them standing there. And like, go, we are the Wyatt Six, and all the lights go down, and then Bobby will sort of turn around. You'd be like, holy shit. They'll be standing around it, and they'll pull them, as Nicole said, they'll pull the mask off like that. And the last one to pull the mask off would be Bray, but he doesn't pull the mask off. It just sort of rips it off, and it's the Fiend, like all new locks, and obviously they squash Bobby. But that's in a perfect world. But if they did that, I'm dying.
I would die. Yeah.
If they connect that to the old, when he revealed the Fiend back in the UK in 2019 with "Can you know my secret?" and turns around and they connect that, and instead of the girls going to there, instead of going, he's here, help me, they're here. You'll get standing there like the sheep mask, or like a new like horns on it and stuff. You get some new theme coming out, and you get Code Orange to perform the theme, and as they all come out.
Ugh.
And then They all walk out first, all in the ramps. Like Dom will be there. They'll all stand in a line, all holding their hands up like that, and then Bray will walk out with the lantern. But the lantern will be Wyndham's head on it, going like that.
Man,
And then
if that happens, that's gonna be beautiful. That's my WrestleMania moment made right there, dude. You guys are on fire. I love this. This is great. Now I'm excited again. I'm excited for the Bray theories, but I'm even more excited to go to Mania if this stuff happens. Like, you're getting me super excited.
Mm-hmm.
Jody.
Yeah, I could definitely see something happening with. I think the match is going to end up being Bobby versus LA Knight, and I definitely think we could get a hint of the Wyatt Six. I don't know that we reveal the whole thing. I think this Mania is going to be there's going to be too many big moments, and whatever Bray does, if it's a big moment, kind of overshadows everything. So, and you're going to get, Edge versus the Demon. You're going to get Cody versus Roman. You've got the Usos versus Sami and KO. Those will all have big moments. So,
yeah, it's
I
interesting.
think that we'll get some hint of it. And I do think he shows up in some capacity. Maybe he just comes out and stands there at the end of it and just kind of laughs. And I do think the hint of it that we get will be the Fiend.
Yeah. Yeah, something for the future, because I think what you were saying just there kind of makes a lot of sense, because if they have Bray reveal his Wyatt Six at Mania, surely if Cody then beats Roman, it's not the main talking point.
Right.
Because you've brought in new stars, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, interesting. Really, really good thinking, because I was like, oh, yeah, all this stuff, again, wouldn't it be so cool to have a faction debut at Mania? But, yeah, and
I think Rhea's going to beat Charlotte. Like, there's going to be a lot of title chances. And I just feel like revealing the whole Wyatt Six would just be, I think maybe we start to add to it. Like, maybe on Monday we see Vincent and Dutch.
Oh, I'll be at the Raw after Mania too. Oh, guys. I'm getting excited.
Yeah, I definitely think we would get more the Raw after Mania.
Yeah, we'll just get a snippet of it of Mania. I feel like if they want to make Mania memorable for the people that are going and for the people that are watching, it have to have some things that are going to shock people. Surely Cody winning would be great, and Bianca losing would be great, or Charlotte would be losing would be great. But you need that raw moment that's going to make people stick out of nowhere. Like, they suspect Bobby's going to beat LA Knight, and then all of a sudden, as James Grant said, let's maybe go, we'll hit. Like, she opens up the dragon box going like that, but it doesn't open, or the door, or someone said the Firefly Funhouse door bursts on fire, and that means that all the spirits inside the Funhouse are now free, and then being Vincent, Dutch, Alexa, they'll come out onto the stage. Anything could happen. Just make it memorable. Like, the Hardys returning at Mania was memorable because that was just sick. But you want to, for the people that are watching, the people that are going, it has to feel like 3 a.m, sitting in your chair, like, okay, cool. Rather than like, yeah.
Good stuff. And people in the chat are coming up with some good stuff too. Lots of good stuff in the chat. I wish I could get to everyone's comments. There's just so many good ones. Let's see here. Hurdy Sketch saying, is Dom Uncle Howdy? Dom, have you been hiding something from us?
I couldn't possibly say to you at all, if that was the case,
Yeah.
I'm just showing up in LA as a fan. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we get him in some capacity. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah. And I think, at this point, we've said this countless times, but it's really about the man's health and well-being. And that's what we need to have our focus on. So just want to put that out there for.
Hey, if they all show up and we get the Wyatt Six at WrestleMania, I'll be super happy.
Exactly. Exactly.
If
And
we
then,
don't and we get it on Monday, I'll be super happy.
exactly. Well, I know that we've seen. I'm going to start pulling up some pictures now. We've seen this
Mhm.
image floating around. I'm not sure where it came from, but I know
It
we've
was
seen
like
that.
in a commercial for WrestleMania where they're showing all the posters. He's on one of the posters with the Howdy mask.
Gotcha.
It looks
Okay.
like the black Howdy mask.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then this image was floating around.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember the guy's name, but I know you've had conversations with him, Jeff. Because we were talking about that last night. But Bray looks great. But I want to make sure that we give credit to the guy that took the picture and
Yeah.
posted it.
Let's
But
see. Let me see. I know Joe's talked to him about sharing the image.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no, Bray looks amazing.
Yeah,
He's
he
really
does.
good.
It does.
Obviously, a lot of people kind of negative about it. You know, he doesn't look ill, whatever. Obviously, you never know what someone's going through. All that I was focused on when I saw this was what a lovely picture for the fan as well. B, Bray looks good. If he's still taking time to recover, could be an unseen illness. You know what I mean? He could still be recovering. We don't know. But what a lovely picture for that fan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
I just dropped his name in the chat. Elber Garlardo is a guy who's in the sector who tweeted this out. So credit to him. And then Jody sent over. We've got some tattoos.
Yeah. So this guy, I think he already had some Firefly tattoos and he kind of added to it. Added, the Jack in the Box, added the puppets. Aiden Turner is his name. And I mean, that's some incredible work. I mean, he's got, a whole arm dedicated to Bray Wyatt, which is amazing. And, I'm sure that's very rewarding for him. And I love it.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So I know Jody had some Easter eggs that she wanted to break down and discuss this week. And this is where we're going today. So
Okay, odd. Interesting.
What a match.
That was an amazing match. First of all, very underrated.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Creatively, yes. Creatively,
Yes, very creatively underrated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think I would love to see another horror show, Extreme Rules. Like, let's get that back because it was fantastic. That whole pay-per-view was amazing. So yeah, if we go through that Wyatt swamp fight, and I got like a transcript of everything, we see in these. Oh, you don't have to show that.
okay, I was just saying that just to show people that it's there and there's a transcript. So
so as we start going through, when Braun gets there to the Wyatt swamp, we see flashes of a pig, a rabbit, and a buzzard. Like, early on in the match. So you've got 3 puppets right there already. And then Braun, and then we've got Abby. So I mean, all the puppets are there. And then we had this moment in between where Funhouse Bray goes back to Funhouse Bray, where he's dressed up like that mad scientist.
Mm-hmm.
And he's cheering for Braun, which I thought was an interesting little nuance there. So Braun gets knocked out by himself, the black sheep mask Braun, which is also a little strange. But when you put it all together, it makes sense. So And so yes, cult leader Bray comes in. They have that moment, and he's talking about, and I'll read it in a minute. And then the snake bites him. He wakes up and is fighting people. He sets somebody on fire, and then Abigail shows up as obviously Alexa Bliss, which we all remember, and she asks him to follow her. But when he goes into the fog, Bray attacks him, but Braun goes back for it. He slams him into a boat and then sends the boat down the river, and then it comes back magically and it's empty. So Braun goes in, to look at the inside the boat. Bray comes up and hits him with an oar. And they kind of both go under the water. Bray kind of disappears, and then it goes silent for a minute, and then Braun comes up out of the water and gets out. And then Bray comes after him again and beats him up with an oar. And he says something very interesting. And at the time, I thought he was talking to Braun. But when I watched it back, I'm saying maybe he wasn't. Because he wasn't looking at him. He was looking in the opposite direction. He was turned around away from him. So Braun attacks Bray, throws him in the water. He kind of disappears. He leans over and he says, "It's over." Then Bray comes up out of the water with the mandible claw. They both go under, seemingly like they've both drowned. And then we see the water go red. And the Fiend comes up out of it. And everybody remembers this moment. But it's what was said and how things happened that is interesting. So I do want to read a little bit of the transcript. So Braun is in chains, and Bray comes up to him and he says, "Welcome home. What do you think about what I did with the place?" Braun says, "I hate you. I hate you for everything you've ever made me do." And Bray says, "Why don't you cry about it? I bet you want to hurt me, don't you?" "Yeah, you want to hurt me. Truthfully, you can't hurt me. I'm already dead." He talks about missing him and being proud of him. He said, "You've made something of yourself and it really gets my heart pumping, but your success is borrowed. It's temporary. Who's going to be there for you at the end? Who's going to stand beside you?" And then he says, "I know the answer, because you can't see where you belong." And Braun starts to say, "I know where I belong." And Bray cuts him off and says, "I don't care." Gets right in his face and says, "I can't tell for the life of me why you won't understand that I'm not your enemy." And he calls the human race a bacteria. It's an infection. They invade and they destroy. That's all they know. But you're like me. You're special and you don't understand. And he talks about them coming together, being like gods, and everybody will bow to them. And this is the interesting part where it gets really deep. He says, "Do you have any idea where I've been? I don't care where you..." And Braun says, "I don't care where you've been. I'm sending you back to hell where you belong." And Bray comes back. He says, "Let me tell you, what I think is worse than anything you could even fathom, rotting in an endless pit, looking through my own eyes, not able to control my body or anything it does. And now I'm here again. I'm here and it feels good. Look, Daddy, I got my wings back and it feels good, and I'm not going back. No matter what, I am not going back." He calls Braun a weapon and says that he needs to destroy him in order for him to become the monster that he is. And then he gets right in his ear and he says, "You want to see something really scary?" Which we've seen early on in Bray's career. We've also seen it with the Howdy stuff now, and you get it in this match. And that's when the snake bites him. He wakes up, he sets someone on fire. Alexa comes out and says, you know, you've always wanted to be together. We can be together forever. Follow me. Follow me. Come home, Braun. And, you know, they're talking about coming home. When they're kind of fighting after that, you start to see these snippets of when he was with the Wyatt family and wearing the black mask. So it kind of makes you feel like he's kind of slowly turning back into that monster that he was. And then what happens in the water, when Bray hits him repeatedly with that oar after he comes out of the water, he's not looking at Braun when he says this. He's completely turned around, looking off into space. And he says, look what you made me do. I didn't want this, but look what you made me do. And that's when Braun throws him in the water, thinks it's over. The water goes red. He comes out with the mandible claw, pulls him in, and then the Fiend emerges. And my husband brought up a good point. He said, where else have we seen that happen before? But there's a moment in this too. Bray comes back up out of the water before the Fiend emerges. And it's like he's panicked. You know, he comes up and he's like screaming and then kind of gets sucked back under for some unknown reason. And I thought that moment was very interesting. But we've seen that before with the Ultimate Deletion match. Matt threw him in the water and he disappeared. Then he came back with the Fiend after that, because he was gone for a while and then came back with the Funhouse and the Fiend. So, you know, there's a lot to unravel as far as, the sign. And there's a sign on the Wyatt family compound that says, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. And they really focused on it. They really wanted you to see it. And Braun actually throws the rocking chair at it. So you've got that difference between abandon all hope, ye who exit here, meaning the Funhouse, and abandon all hope, ye who enter here, which obviously is a Dante's Inferno reference. And the door is so much more important than we think it is. The door is the barrier between reality and fantasy. What's on the other side of the door, I was kind of talking about it being like the dark side. I think it's a fantasy world, because you can have all of these people, the puppets. We saw Braun hit himself, and Bray, almost like he can change form back. Anything can happen on the other side. Expect the unexpected. And so people can change form. People can, play different characters. They can, change what they look like. The puppets look different. The Fiend looks different, and all of that. And the comment, if you think about it, who opened the door? So dig into that. The only two people that have walked through that door from the Funhouse, or like the real world, into the fantasy world, there's only two people. Alexa came from the fantasy world through the door to the other side, to reality. But the only people to walk the other way, there's two people. It's Bray and John Cena.
And we hit that with this.
That's huge. What an in-depth analysis. That's intense. Like,
and notice this too. Vince never comes out the door. Vince lives in that world.
Yeah, man.
In that world, anything goes. You can do anything you want. That's why he said, I'm already dead. Because limits do not exist. in this fantasy world. So you can see anybody, be anybody, whatever you want to do.
That's amazing, man. What details? I mean, this all lends to the whole comic book movie thing, right? Like this would all be an incredible movie. What if the real tragedy is that we never get the Bray movie, you know, with all of these intricacies, or even a book, you know, like you know, like a Mick Foley style autobiography, but written by Bray Wyatt with, like, you know, the depth and comedy that like Mick Foley went into with his stuff, like about gimmicks and things. I think all of this stuff won't ever be realized until Bray's retired. This stuff will never be, like, unless you watch right here on the Insiders, of course, and you watch back and watch all the episodes previously and all the analysis, because we talk about it, you guys talk about it. But I think truly, I don't think this stuff will be realized until Bray writes a book
Pierce
about it.
is a good thing that people are bringing that up, because Postman Pierce did go that way through the door, but he did go back through the door, but he came out of that fantasy world first. Nobody has gone through the door that way except Cena, because Bray has gone through each side of the door. But Postman Pierce came from the fantasy world first and then went back.
Also, Seth came in it as well, and he said to Seth, "How are you here? Are you dead as well?"
Yep.
I mean, so it's
and Abby is in that window and talks about being in limbo, because that literally is the barrier. Just saying.
It just makes it all. There's so many possibilities.
Yeah. There's so much to unravel all the time. You can dig into so many things. And that match is, I mean, there's little nuances. And I want to talk about that whole, him saying that I'm here now. He said, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm supposed to do. So, you know, the Wyatt Swamp is where it all started. Maybe that's the center of hell. Like, that's where the power and the energy comes from, because Braun had to go home. But you had that sign saying, abandon all hope, you enter here. So the Wyatt Swamp is where the magic comes from. But you can also be in different worlds on that side as well. Maybe it changes based on, you know, your imagination, because when Cena first went through the door, it was dark. Then he starts remembering things. Vince shows up. He comes out and he changes a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
All right, Dom, you spoke about it a little bit, but I want to get your thoughts on Jodie's deep dive there, and then we'll go to Hanzo and keep the comments coming, chat.
Yeah, well, you know, makes me want to go read Dante's Inferno.
It's quite a read.
Yeah, I've never read it. It makes me want to go read that. If anybody else has read it,
I'll send you the link for it. There's a YouTube channel that breaks it down pretty well. Okay. And I watched that, and you know, it talks about each circle and the punishment that's in that circle, and he keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper into hell until he sees Satan. And some of the descriptions that you hear as you're going through, you know, Dante's Inferno, and I got it all from watching the video. Obviously, I've read the book too, but you know, that video was really informative, and you'll start to pick up things that, oh, that sounds like Bray. You definitely, if you watch that video, you definitely feel like,
Oh wow,
Took
yeah,
some inspiration from that.
yeah. Please do send that.
Each circle of hell is different, and they come with different punishments, and they get more sinister as you go, into the
Okay.
deeper circles.
Yeah, please do send that to me. That sounds fascinating. So yeah, that again, just the depth that we could eventually find out about, that you just alluded to there, Jodie, and obviously other guys in the comments and Hanzo's theories as well. Jeff, your ideas, it's all blowing my mind, and I think there's so much stuff that we have no idea about yet. And again, I think that from what Jodie was saying, I truly think that there are people that are you could do a PhD. I've always wanted to do a PhD. Maybe I've figured out what I'm gonna do it on, the nuances of like Bray Wyatt's, gimmick in wrestling. I'm not entirely sure enough people would be into it, but it's the kind of thing you could do a proper like theory essay or book on. And so for me, from Jodie's theory, I'm just like, I wish somebody would collate all of these little bits that we've seen from the very beginning of his career until now, because I truly think that more fans, even casuals, would appreciate more the artistry that we admire and we gather to appreciate here on this channel. If it was gathered by somebody, from day dot to now, because there's so many things that I think people are missing, and so many elements, books, books, movies, everything across the board that we, 10 years, 20 years down the line, people are probably going to be like, oh yeah, Bray was doing that then, and I didn't figure it out at the time, and I just wrote it off as a boring. I wasn't patient enough. I wish I'd have been more patient. And I genuinely think that's what may happen.
Yeah. I just sent you the links.
Thank you. Yeah, awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited to be my evening reading, or instead of when I should be packing tomorrow, evening watching. Yeah.
I can post it in the chat too if people want it. It's an interesting one for sure. Here, I can post it in the chat. Yeah, there's a lot of little nuances, and Bray likes to hide things in plain sight. He always has. So I don't know.
It's fascinating stuff. Really is. I love that we can all get together here every week and talk about it, and these theories can come to light. But for me, like I've always said, it's a movie, man. It's a movie. It's a book, and a comic. I want to see that. Because all this stuff lends itself so well to movies, to books, things like that. So I hope one day, 10, 20 years down the line, we do get that. Bray unfiltered.
Circle. It's all about a circle.
The unfiltered autobiography where he gets to tell his story about, what happened when he left and what people said about him. And then this stuff coming back, and the gimmick and whether it was misinterpreted, stuff like that, I think would be fascinating.
But I mean, he talks about, him not coming back, and you go back to that movie Split. There can only be one Bray that exists at a time, unless you're in this fantasy world. Then you can have multiple. Yeah. But you can only see one Bray at a time. And he said he's just a servant now. He goes where the circle takes him. That circle, those different personalities, there's only one that comes forward at a time, just like Split. And if you watch that movie, there's a lot of nuances in there too that you can see where he took inspiration from there. So, now we're getting back to the beginning. And I remember something he said in a Funhouse episode too. He said, "The Fiend put me back together, but she destroyed the Fiend, and he got shattered, just like the song. So now he's got all these different pieces, and maybe he needs the Fiend again to put him back together." What if the Wyatt Six is those personalities coming together all at once?
Yeah, man. I could dig that.
All different personalities.
Yeah. That sounds fascinating.
Mhm.
Don't know what again, Hanzo and Jeff and the chat, like what do you guys think about that? That's exciting to think about, right? It's amazing.
It is. I mean, it's great because this is one of the few stories outside of a movie. I mean, if you really think about it, that
Mhm.
has the layers and the depth that this does. I
Mhm.
mean, thinking about something that happened a couple years ago now and being able to pull up a transcript and break it down in that way just lets you know the layers to the story. And then even on top of that, people still go back and watch the ghost stories video, and there's still things there that we break down now that are very relevant today. So, I mean, it's just fascinating to have these conversations and to see everyone with their theories. That's what makes it so fun.
So someone has to be controlling who comes forward and when.
Yeah. Has anyone ever
There
seen
is a puppet master. I wonder if Abigail is the puppet master. She's
Yeah, possibly.
she's in limbo between those two worlds. She's part of both worlds. She was the one that pulled Braun in. She was the one that has the snake. She's almost like Eve. She's the one that brought in the serpent. So what if she's the puppet master?
Mm.
Yeah, that's fascinating. It reminds me a little bit of just briefly before we go to other takes. Has anyone seen because it was my first encounter, it is a comic book on DC, Doom Patrol. It reminds me of the character Jane on that. Well, in the comic, she has like obviously different personalities. There is a deeper mental health aspect to it, but in brief, basically the multiple personalities and one personality leads the charge and selects who goes up and who showcases to the world, who gets to have the time in the limelight, so to speak, and then gets taken back, and then another personality can present itself, and it's a really interesting dynamic. So if anybody's ever seen Doom Patrol, it reminds me of that. Sorry for going off on one, but
Yeah, somebody said she controls the puppets. She's the one that is, not necessarily controlling the puppets, but she's the one that's always yelling at them for being too loud, or, she was there from the beginning. That's the name of his signature move.
yeah.
So what if it's
Mhm.
more Sister Abigail and the Fiend? What if they're like Adam and Eve?
Yeah, that's exciting.
That's wow.
Yes,
Just an evil version of it.
Yeah.
that's a strong shot. I still feel like there's more left with Alexa and all that lot. I'm sure we're bound to see it at some point. Still to this day, I refuse to believe it was her all this time, costing the win at Mania. I still think to this day, I've said this to numerous fucking people on the internet, and they don't believe me. Like, so when he's gone for the Sister Abigail and he's holding, and all the fire's gone up, and she's sitting in the box, and all this, it's almost like blood spurting down her face, and that's Lily.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like the pump. She's sort of almost like putting her arm out towards like the Fiend Bray. So like the Fiend always showed that his weakness was Alexa, because every time he saw him, held his arms out and looked after her, like he's always like Beauty and the Beast. So that minute of second of time where she's put her hand out, that's Alexa going, help me, like she's got me. And then as he's obviously gone forward, she's snapped, and then it's Lily again, and he's turned around, and RKO, and I'm sitting there I'm sitting there 3 in the morning going, what has just happened here? And he gets up standing there like that, standing, and I'm just like, come on. But I still feel to this day that she possessed her for that period of time, let her go for like 10 seconds to help me, and it's gone forward, and then it's changed, and then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more to it, but who knows?
Yeah, it's deep.
So here's my question for all of you. We'll start with Jody, then we'll go to Hanzo, then Dom. You alluded to it a little bit there, Hanzo, but in terms of Miss Bliss's involvement, because I know that there's a segment of fans that really want her to be involved and believe that she is. What's her involvement in this story going forward? Do you think we see anything play out this week regarding her involvement in all of this?
I think she's definitely going to be involved in it. If you think about it, Alexa's just a puppet too. She came in the Funhouse. She's like Funhouse Bray, but Lily is her dark side. Lily's her fiend. You know what I mean? So when she brought that evil Alexa back to life, you know, that's her version of Bray and the Fiend. So, and Bray said in that interview, like, we're going to be connected forever because maybe, you know, Lily and the Fiend are like Adam and Eve.
Hanzo, what are you thinking?
Personally, I think there's more. I think we'll see her at some point. It's just when we see her. Like,
yeah, when it fits.
I know she's at Mania and she's bound to be involved. Like she probably does know, but obviously due to spoilers and reasons why she can't reveal anything, that's fair. But I feel like she's bound to do something, whether it's maybe interfere in Bianca's match, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if she cost Bianca the belt?
Yeah, maybe she interferes in Bianca's match, maybe. What we all hope that she gets involved somehow with Bobby and all that lot, or it could be anything. It really could be anything. How they put her back into the fold, I don't know. Maybe if she gets kidnapped, and then she has to get the box again, because the box was by the front door and the door was opened.
Mm-hmm.
So surely she's done something. It could honestly be anything, and I'm just here for the ride, honestly. Like, I can't wait. I think she's great. I've always liked her. I feel like she should have won the belt, but I get why she couldn't, because Bianca was so over.
Yeah.
But maybe anything could happen. Anything could happen. But I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Dom, what are you thinking, my friend?
Yeah, man. I think we'll see Alexa the Raw after Mania. It is WrestleMania week. You know, WrestleMania doesn't necessarily end. I mean, technically it does. It doesn't necessarily end at the end of WrestleMania because it's well documented. The Raw after Mania is full of big surprises as well. I think that we'll see maybe a hint of Alexa at WrestleMania somehow, like you're talking about Bray. You know, maybe we don't see a match. Maybe we see something flash up or something alluding to Alexa's return. I know Alexa was tweeting when was it the Undertaker figures were fighting in the Funhouse?
Yeah, the two hands.
You know, so Alexa was tweeted about that, and I know a couple of people saying Alexa said she's at Mania. Yeah, well. I'm sure
being at Mania and being involved.
Yeah,
are two different things.
Yeah, obviously Alexa knows the platform she has. She knows that she can sell tickets. So why wouldn't she tweet that? You know, if it sells a few extra tickets for WWE, her employer, and gets people interested, that's great. But I think with that, there is a responsibility. I absolutely think we will see Alexa Bliss during this WrestleMania week, whether it's at WrestleMania, whether it's on the Raw after Mania, I genuinely think we will see her at some point. I hope she's still tied to Bray. I think that they can end this. They can end her association with Bray or keep it going. But I think it needs some kind of, they need something to tie it up. At least I know a lot of people are against her associating with Bray again. A lot of people are, want her to associate with Bray. Me personally, I want Alexa to be able to go back to the goddess gimmick eventually, not like right now, but certainly that would need, would need tying up. The Bray stuff would need tying up somehow, for her to do that. So that's what I hope we see over the next few weeks and months. And I think we're going to see Alexa, if not teased at WrestleMania, certainly a return of some sort on the Raw after Mania, when I think we're due a couple of other surprises as well. But obviously, we're not here to talk about how I'm fantasy booking Jay White's arrival on Raw, so I can get doubly excited this coming weekend. We're here to talk about Bray and Alexa. So yeah, one of my predictions for the Raw after Mania is an Alexa return.
That'd be awesome.
That would be. All right, so we got a little bit of overtime going this evening, and I guess a good place to go now would be to some art, right?
Yeah.
Let's go to some artwork. So we'll start here, and then pull up the first one.
So this one is from Brittany K. I really like this because it gives you like fog in the mirror vibes, with writing, and everybody did that. When the mirror got fogged up, you wrote on it. So you're full of empty promises, which is, an interesting quote too.
Yeah, stunning stuff, man. The detail on that is, as always with Britney stuff, like there's lots of different sort of nuances. I love the kind of smudged face as well as the text. Mm-hmm. Kind of the shadowy face. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, she's a great artist, Brittany. She's a great artist.
Yeah, she is.
So this is an edit by Eric Rousseau, who goes by the Wyatt OG on Twitter and Instagram. Obviously he took a photo and edited it, and I love, that lantern being the only source of light. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There's another one by Eric, and I love that cartoon.
Oh, that's sick.
Mm-hmm. And again, that lantern is the only source of light.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember who did this one. So if you guys know, just put it in the chat. But it's almost like Bray's looking at himself in the mirror and seeing howdy.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Yeah, a lot of nuance. Again, a lot of intricacies there in that art. Obviously, we've been debating whether Bray is Howdy and Howdy is Bray for months now. So it's a lovely little callback to that debate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. So this is Blake on social media, and obviously when Bray had the WWE Championship, which we all loved.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Nobody really predicted that he would beat AJ Styles. So unfortunately that was, ruined by Mr. Randy Orton. The serpent always ruins everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that I just want to say I love the detail on the belt and the jacket. That's so cool. And I remember that promo. Rolls. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
So this is Tribal Goat on Twitter, and it's wrestling edits, and I love that it's. I mean, you can tell it's the Fiend.
Yeah.
in this, even though it's in shadow, and having that "Let Me In" the background, and it looking kind of disheveled and old, and I love it.
Yeah, again, the colors there. I always love the artists that obviously submit here. Like some of the colors are, Bray is such a. I mean, obviously there's a lot of darkness, but there's also a lot of color.
Yep.
Particularly the red light, and I think the artists that we see here are really good at bringing that out. This is this is obviously the theme, but it also reminds me of like Michael Myers and horror characters, and
He's almost like glowing.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. To be fair, I like it.
I love it. So Black Mass Design, this is his prediction, I guess, of the Wyatt Six. So you have Bray Wyatt, obviously, with Eric Redbeard and Alexa Bliss, but now you're bringing into the fold Bo Dallas's Uncle Howdy, Vincent, and Dutch. And if this comes to fruition and this is the Wyatt Six, I will die.
Oh man, it'll be amazing. Yeah, it'll be incredible.
If we get this at Mania, but if we get this at Mania, but it's instead of being saying Bray Wyatt, it's just a Fiend. Oh,
what if they're all bringing in the Wyatt Six? They're all different forms of the puppets.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I say Alexa would have to be Lily.
Or Abby. Yeah.
Abby. Yeah. Abby. Sorry.
Bray.
Abby. Vincent, I guess, is Huskus.
See, I kind of would put Vincent more towards Ramblin' Rabbit because he likes to talk.
Yeah, it's true.
So then, or Mercy. I could see him doing that too.
Yeah, man. There's lots. Again, so many elements you could go with that lineup. I mean, that's a dream lineup.
Amazing.
Who else would you put it? This is perfect for all the fantasy booking that we've done, for every fantasy booking thing I've seen on Twitter. This is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. Oh, look, Hardy sketch. I am going to need a print of this. I showed it to my husband and he said, that's a cool picture. And I said, it's not a picture. He was like, what? So I am sure that took a long time. But the detail there in just the hair and, and then have Bray having blood on his hands and putting his handprints in the wall. And I love it. The detail on this is so amazing. And I wish I could draw like that.
Yeah, incredible.
This is another one that Blake did, and I thought it was applicable because I think at some point Abby's is going to turn into, the Wyatt Six fan show. And I think Vincent's going to be part of that. So I loved this. I love the balloon and the blood in the background and the detail on his hair, and really, really good job on this. His tattoos. I mean, it's just so good. I think we're going to have to incorporate some Vincent in our.
Yeah, the first steps. The first steps to incorporating Vincent and the rest of the potential Wyatt Six into this channel.
I don't think you could bring Vincent and Dutch to WWE and have him not work with Bray.
In some capacity. Yeah, in some capacity, even if it's not working directly with him, but going against him, eventually you've got to have them cross paths. So, yeah.
I love this one too.
Delete.
So this is Blake again, and obviously it's the Deleters of Worlds, and like I said, that Ultimate Deletion match is the first time I ever watched wrestling. So again, this is great detail with the tattoos and with that Matt having the belts, and I love it. They were so good together.
That was so much fun, man. That's an underrated tag team, I think.
It was they were amazing together. Amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool. Again, yeah, just on that art, the tattoos are great. Again, that sort of comic book style. It's really, really cool. It'd be really cool to see if Matt Hardy has seen this, because Matt Hardy's very good at. He's really interactive with fans on Twitter and stuff. So whoever did this, send it to Matt Hardy. I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
Yeah. It's another Brittany K piece, and feel it's appropriate considering I think we might see the Fiend at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But for me, what stands out in this is the eyes. They just pop. And I love those hard lines around it. She's just really talented.
She has a way with art, Brittany, that I don't understand. Like, I draw and I love it to pieces, but she has a way of like, just, she's incredible. Like, everyone on this, channel is incredible, and everyone that does all that art is incredible. Doesn't matter who you are, but there's some skill to draw the Fiend or draw a comic character or draw a horror villain that well, and like she does it like even like the hand logo on his chest and the mask and the eyes itself. Like, she has a way with art and pencils or tablets. It's just it's insane. I'd pay $1 to draw like that. And I mean, I can draw well, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, man. It's the color in it. It's the color. It's a big factor in Brittany's work. From what I've seen, is just again really vibrant reds and colors like that. So yeah, incredible stuff.
There's another Brittany K one. That beautiful Fiend mask, man. I love it. I love it. And incredible. The tattoo, I love that tattoo that he has on his arm.
Here's the thing: if he did return at Mania, would you have him return in that mask or the one we saw a couple of years ago?
I would think the one we saw a couple of years ago at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I love that. I love that attire. The whole attire was amazing.
Yeah.
It was like almost like a straight jacket and like just belt buckles in it. Like, it looked the mask looked very Jokerish, which I really did love, because obviously I love DC and I love Batman and Marvel, but the mask looked very Jokerish. It just, it's a shame we only saw it once, but maybe we'll see it again. Never know, but I can't beat the original, but that Jokerish one was pretty sick.
It was awesome. Another Hardy sketch one. I love the cartoon style. I just love it. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I saw this on Twitter. I was blown away. Again, reminds me of talk about the Joker, the animated Joker from the more recent, and I say more recent, this shows how old I am, but it was the sort of cyberpunk cartoon Joker with the big hair. I can't remember what era of Batman cartoons that was, but certainly the more recent. It reminds me exactly of that Joker. It's really cool.
Oh, yeah, it was from the Batman series with Rino Romano a couple of years ago.
Yeah, thank you, man. It was because it just the hair is amazing, and that's just wonderful. Yeah, love this, and I was really a big fan of it when I saw it on Twitter.
Amazing artwork as always by everyone. Just great stuff. So many talented people.
Absolutely.
Just so many talented people. Again, I aspire to be able to draw. I can't. And no, I'm not taking Dom's stick figure challenge.
Hey man, I followed through on that. So if you want something from me, that you just there you go. You see,
he did order it. I just haven't gotten it yet.
I mean, do you want to do? I mean, I'd quite like to see you do a stick figure. If you want to send it to me privately, which sounds weird when I say that. but anything you want to send to me privately, Jeff, is fine. But if you just want to do me the stick figure challenge, but privately, that's great, because I would actually like to see what your stick figure was like.
I cannot draw, so it's going to be bad.
Just go for it, man. Go for it. You know, I look forward to that message, that private message.
Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. We're going to end with some final thoughts, and Dom, we'll start with you.
Yeah, man. Well, it's WrestleMania week. Just want to say, whatever happens, I'm very excited to be there. Thank you guys for your support. Dan, who's coming with me to LA, he is doing a stream tonight on Monday Night Raw. So if you've got a chance, I know there are other people you can support. If you do go over to Give Me a Whole Year and support Dan. He is working late tonight before we go to LA. So please go and support him. Once again, guys, thank you all so much for your support of the stuff we do here on the Insiders of Give Me a Whole Year of just having fun talking about wrestling. And if anybody wants to hang out at Mania, if anybody's there, if anybody watches this back or is with us now who's going to LA, I know Hanzo was talking about getting there a little bit later. Let's go for a cup of tea or something stronger. I would love to hang out with some of you guys and talk about theories. So if that is an option and you guys want to hang out, I would love to see you in LA. And thank you all for the lovely comments. I'm again, it's a childhood dream, but other people dream of of other things. I know, but I've always wanted to go since I was a kid. So this is a real dream come true. So thank you all for the well wishes, and I'm super excited. I'll try and tweet and things, especially if some Bray stuff comes up. Although I might be too excited. Parts of me might be exploding. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, have fun, and don't get locked up for exploding in certain areas. That could be frowned upon by some authority. So
yeah, it's frowned upon in the UK. So I would imagine it's probably frowned upon over there. Yeah.
No, Dom, have fun, man. Safe travels. Hope you have a great time. Hanzo, final thoughts, my friend.
Final thoughts from South London's finest. Basically, I feel like it's WrestleMania season. Anything goes, baby. We're here. It'll be good. I hope everyone that does go has a great show. If he turns up tonight, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, enjoy it. If he doesn't, not the end of the world. He will be there. Just patience and all that sort of stuff. And also, I had a little theory left, but I'll just say it anyway. Maybe this is just me over exaggerating, but every time you see Bray holding the lantern, if you were to crack that lantern, does that kill Bray Wyatt or release the inner demons that, because every time he carries a lantern, if you were to crack that, does that Bray go and you get someone else? That you get another version of him that doesn't carry a lantern, maybe has a hood up, like a mask or anything. I was sitting there and I was looking at the artwork. I thought, if you crack that, does that take him back into the lantern? Or I don't know. I was just rambling, but small theory. But yeah, guys. Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna see what's on Raw tonight, and I have my phone like this in case it pops up on the screen. And if it's theme related, you'll hear the loudest roar from London you've ever heard in your life. But if it's just the occasional White Rabbit running again, I'm cool with it. I'm glad he's here. I'm glad he's back. And and Dom, have a great time, man. If I see you out there, great. And I'll be out for
we'll catch up. We'll catch up.
Yes, I'll be 1 year older, but I'll take it. But,
yeah, man. Anytime, not just at Mania. Like I say, it's the same goes. Obviously, Mania will be amazing for those that are there. But yeah, anytime any of you guys want to hang out and talk Bray with me, that's what we're all here for, right? And that's why I love this community so much. So yeah, I look forward to meeting some of you guys, whether it's at Mania or beyond that. I'm super excited. You guys are awesome.
For sure.
And Hanzo, hope you have a great time as well. Enjoy it.
Mhm.
I really am looking forward to. Hopefully, I can go to Mania next year since it's fairly close.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can go to it. But yeah, enjoy, have a lot of
Me,
fun.
you, and Joe are talking about all going together.
Yeah, yeah. Jody, final thoughts.
I'm gonna make mine quick because I'm 22 minutes late for work. I'm at work. I'm just 22 minutes late getting to the floor. I'm working as a floor nurse tonight. So, yeah, Bray's awesome. We love him. Caleb's hot. There you go.
And
wonderful final words. Wonderful.
And that deserves, you know what? I'm gonna give a little bit of time to Glenn Quagmire real quick. Just because of that comment. Here we go.
Giggity.
There you go. There you go. A little bit of Quagmire time. So thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. To all of you that are going to Mania, safe travels, have fun, enjoy it. What a great experience. And I know it's going to be special. So enjoy. And we'll do this again next Monday. And I'm pretty sure I have a good feeling that we're going to have some stuff to talk about, a lot to talk about next week. So thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. And this week is crazy for this channel, by the way. We're going to be on a lot. So Thursday, we're going to be on for Impact Wrestling as well as the Impact Multiverse United card. We're going to be on Friday for SmackDown and the Hall of Fame. Obviously, WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday. So, and then we'll be back here Monday. So come check us out during the week. Hang out with us. Have fun. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that post notification bell. It's going to go off a lot this week because we're going to be on a lot. So just know that going into it. But thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we will see you next time on Abby's Window.
Bye.
See you guys.
So what do you say? You want to